Welcome back to the Real Power Family Radio Show. Today's episode, we are talking about the 5 W's of real estate, or of investing, really. And Devin, our next one we're going to talk about is what? So, Devin, can you explain to us, what do I mean by what?
Well, this is what is investing and what should you invest in?
That's a
And
very good question, Devin. What is investing?
well, really, investing actually going out and investing in something, not just going out giving your money to some type of a broker and waiting and praying. I to me, I do not think that's investing. That just seems like gambling.
We shouldn't just blindly put our money into something random and hope that it works out for us. We
Probably not. You should probably do slightly more research on things and not just blindly trust.
and
Because
I
if you're
think
going
that
to a stockbroker, they're probably just going to sell you stocks and whatever makes them money. If you go to a real estate broker, they're probably just going to sell you real estate, whether that's actually the best thing for you or not. If you
we're
go
back
to a
to
commodities broker, guess what? They're probably going to sell you commodities. Go ahead, Ethan.
doing research, looking at the big picture. Because, like you just said, a real estate broker might just try and sell you real estate. Stockbroker will sell you stocks. Whatever makes them money, whatever they can get commissions on, instead of what actually makes you money.
Right. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to say that they're all just wrong and don't ever use them. Know when is it better to use them, getting information and anything else, and not just blindly trusting really anyone. Like, what was the one president that said trust but verify?
Point.
Perhaps you have a management company, use them and verify things are getting done. Manage the management company.
Yeah, don't just blindly believe. Don't just blindly take the advice of someone. And this goes same thing for any information you receive, whether it's about investing or whether it's about what's going on in the market or the world today. Actually go out and do some of your own research. Look at the big picture instead of just blindly believing someone. Do your own research. Now, do you have something else to add to what is investing, or should we move on to what to invest in?
Well, I think that's what can you or should you invest in? Now, what you should invest in is probably different for each one of our different listeners. You're in your own unique circumstance.
In fact, Devin, I'm going to ask you the question. When you wanted to start investing, what was you asked dad, what should I invest in? You asked him pretty much that same question. What was his response to you?
Well, at that time, he told me to invest in what I knew. And at the time, what I knew the best was Legos. And so I found a way to invest in that.
Do you know why would he say invest in what you know? I
Well, I knew more about it, and it was something that I I could make an more or less intelligent decision on for any part of it.
It's what you knew the most about. Since you knew a lot about it, you had the knowledge to make at least a better decision about, can this be a good decision to invest in versus something else? And you could come up with the idea of how to invest in something like Legos, which you did actually end up coming up with. And didn't you not only find it out, then invest in it, and then you wrote about it in your first book, If I Can Do It, So Can You, right, Devin?
Exactly. I wrote about that. And then getting back to other things that you can invest in, looking into what are some different types. A lot of people have heard about or invest in paper assets like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, which each have their own issues and they tend to be much more liquid. You can buy them and sell them more quickly. So that is one benefit to them. Then there are more hard assets. These are things that we typically are investing more in and think more people should invest in. And that's things that will actually stay and hold their value more. Things like real estate, things like gold that have kept their value for many thousands of years. Silver is generally the same. Bitcoin specifically could be considered the hardest asset in the history of the world, and it has next to no history. So I'm going to say that one could be great, and you can theoretically make a lot more money there, and we don't know what's going to happen. Higher risk, and you can make more money there. So what I do is I buy some of each. I own a decent amount of real estate. I own some gold and silver. I own a little bit of Bitcoin. And no matter what happens in each of them, I have multiple others that I can end up doing well at.
You didn't just throw everything into one thing and not even just blindly believing, but going in, because really anything can happen, especially with some of the crazy stuff the government's doing. Something can happen, especially for real estate, which they're trying to go after. At least it seems like property rights and stuff. Uh, so you have something in multiple. You have gold, you have silver, you have real estate, you have Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I also invest in other things, and I focus on just a few different things, especially get started. Focus on one thing, learn how to do that well, then move on to the next. Real estate can be really, it's amazing in so many ways. It generally keeps its value better. It creates passive income if you do it right. You can use depreciation to help reduce your taxes. In certain areas, you can get appreciation where it actually makes money over time. And it takes a lot more education, it takes a lot more time to do that well. That's something that, hey, you can build up very long term, a lot of wealth, and that takes a lot more time to build it up. Right, Ethan?
Right. Some of these things may take time. If you're, especially real estate, we have a saying in our family, just 5 more years, which after 5 years, your
Mhm.
life will get better. And after 5 more years, it'll get even better. And some of these things, I think there's a misconception. A lot of people think that pretty much everything's a get rich quick, or they call it a get rich quick scheme. It's not really a get rich quick, it's a get incredibly wealthy over a long period of time.
Exactly. It's not get rich quick, especially in real estate, at least the way we've done it. And probably in most things, don't expect you're going to get super rich overnight. Expect that it takes time to build this and it will last, especially if you do it right, for a longer period of time. And if you set up right and raise your kids right, then it can go on for many generations.
Go to realpowerfamily.com, and pretty much the first link you'll see is to download our 5 W's free ebook.